Gotcha. Because like I guess I'm like a little bit lost since the lectures last week were kinda a work in progress to call them something. Uh, so I don't know, I think it would have been nice to like talk to him so like we could figure out where we are. Also, I'm not sure what we're supposed to do during these.
I guess where are you guys at on the quests?
I mean, I'm at like 4, I think.
Yeah, same.
Okay.
Like 5.
How
I'm just started 3, so
I'm behind y'all. I started late. So I'm gonna do 2 this week. Um, but yeah, how are y'all finding further quests? Anything that I should know?
for me it's all complicated because I've never done a coding class before. And so this is all brand new. But I'm learning a lot off of this website called W3 Schools. I don't know if you're familiar with it. But pretty much it tells you everything you need to know about C plus in for dummies, pretty much. The book is very in depth.
So it's like a book, not a website.
It's a website. The W3 schools, you can learn any language, but specifically C plus plus. It's
Gotcha.
helped me. Yeah.
Good to know.
for the guy that said they were on like quest 5 or something, how did you do the header file? I'm getting a bunch of errors if I try and submit mine with the header file.
Gonna share anything because I'm not near like my programming laptop right now. So
But like, did you just like copy paste what he put in the
yeah, yeah,
PDF or whatever?
you just have to use the template that he uses, and then he just has like the put your code here.
Okay, I'll look at it again, I guess.
Yeah.
If anyone has talked to him, do you have like any sense of like how long we're supposed to be in these and what we're supposed to do to get, like attendance points?
I have no idea.
Yeah, I figure that's where I am.
So everyone on right now, I'm Andrew, by the way. Hi there. Everyone on is another student then, is that right? So we don't have, there's not like a TA or anyone on right now. Okay, cool. Thanks.
Yeah.
Alexander, were you asking about the header file? Was that you or?
That was me. I
No,
was
that was not
having
me.
Oh,
trouble
Yeah.
with it.
Jackson. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
What exactly, what are you having trouble with on the header file?
Um, I mean, I don't know. I guess I have my CPP file or whatever, and that is good. I've tested that like with a custom main function or whatever, and that's fine. But like I just copy pasted the like code from the PDF, and it's I didn't know if he wanted me to if like there's anything I need to do to that. He doesn't really say anything in the PDF about it.
And so you created a separate file though, right? A header file?
Yeah, like looping functions dot h, and then just pasted that in there, and then I got a bunch of errors that don't really make a lot of sense to me. 'Cause it's just declaring like, you know, I don't know.
I'm just trying to take a look here. Yeah, I think you just use exactly what he wrote. You just copy paste it into a separate file, looping functions.h, and then upload that. Or you tried that, didn't work.
Yeah, that's what I did. I mean, I'll look at it again and see, but I mean, that's what I got from it too, and it wasn't working, so I don't know.
Oh, you're on looping functions as well. That's fun. Which part are you on for?
Well, I've done all the like, I think functions that you have to like define, and I'm just having trouble like submitting with the header file and stuff.
Oh, yeah, I just copied his header file verbatim and then
Yeah, that's what I did too, and I got like 9 errors. So,
wait, is it like when you try to run it?
like when you put it into the website, it like
Oh,
has, I don't know, it doesn't compile.
Hey, sorry,
hello.
didn't mean to interrupt anyone, but I'm here. Yeah, good to see you guys. Good to see you guys. Okay, what is this? Is that all? Like 6 people? Like
Yeah.
okay. All right, I'm happy to see you all anyway. And it's good that you have these catch-up sessions, okay? So you can have Jackson, you should feel free to switch on your camera, okay? And also the black hole guy, Krishav.
Yeah.
Krishav.
I'm
Yeah, you should
not
switch on
connected
your.
to a computer that has a camera at the moment. I can go
Oh,
get
I
it
see,
if
I
it's
see.
needed.
Yeah, okay, all right.
Just my
That's
main
okay.
computer
Well,
doesn't
who
have
was
one
this? Was
attached.
it Jackson or Krishav? Who said that? Who's not
Uh,
connected to?
The one who said that's not connected, that's Krisha.
No worries. Okay. Jackson, you should switch on your
Yeah,
camera.
I will next week. I don't have my camera like
Yeah, no worries. No
right
worries.
now. I'll
Okay.
do it next week.
Yeah.
All right.
No, I just wanted to remind you in case you were not aware.
Okay. Yeah, I'll do it
If you
next week. I
wanted to,
just
that's
I don't have it with me right now. The camera.
awesome. Okay. Oh, Brandy, your last name is Grewal? Grewal? Oh, there's another Brandy then in class. Yes? Yeah, it's very unusual. Yeah, and they're both, yeah. There's another Brandy, I'm pretty sure, in class.
Oh, I attended last week's or virtually. I attended it virtually.
Oh, but I was, I was telling my 2A students, actually my interns, I wasn't doing a really good job because I was completely unaware of the online people. I was just working with the face-to-face. But this time I think I've got it sorted out. In fact, Mike with ETS is going to make sure that Zoom is going to work on the class computer so that I'll be able to log into Zoom and it'll just be like this. And all the face-to-face students will be logged into thetheir own Zoom accounts and they'll just be, windows here, except I'll be able to see them, face-to-face also. So I think that might work much better. This, it'll be more inclusive. Everybody will be here as a rectangle, including me. And then what we'll do is we'll just go the usual way, which I think has worked and the students have liked. We will start with programs like last week, but this time we'll just take it from scratch. I'll dictate it token by token. And then what happens is that whoever volunteers, they hear what is being said, brace and so on, and they keep typing. But without their knowledge, like, the dad and the trainer wheels, without their knowledge, I basically stop at some point and they're just typing on their own. And when they see themselves doing that, they actually do get a big kick out of it, I think. Just like, when, a daughter was, or, kids are, you let them go all of a sudden, they look back and you're not there. Yeah. And then that you're driving by yourself. Once you're at that place, I think most of the rest of it is, that's why in 2B, there are no face-to-face. I'm not offering face-to-face in 2B and 2C. 2A is where people need that, trainer wheels. Once you're if you do 2A properly, I think, in my opinion, 2B will be challenging, but it's something that you can conquer because you'll be in there and you'll have a good idea of, how to balance yourself. And then you learn new tricks, and then in 2C even more, bike on a tightrope. So that'll be really cool. Any other questions? Data wrap I think is due tomorrow. No, it was due yesterday, right? Last night. Data wrap quiz. I will reopen the data wrap quiz for those of you who did really badly on data wrap. I reopen it in week 11 for everybody. Yeah, so you'll get another chance. Everybody will get another chance.
Okay.
Yeah. Hey, Alex, you had I remember you had sent me an email a long time ago, like, 2 weeks ago, maybe. Oh, I know, 1 week ago, saying that, 7:30 is the time that, according to Namrata's poll, it's 7:30. Can we do it? Yeah, or was it you or someone else?
It. Oh, oops, sorry. I'm using my phone because my computer's being weird, and now it's falling.
Yeah.
It was me. That was me. I was trying to
Because
make
I
these
looked for it, I
happen,
couldn't
and I
find it.
think
That's
this is
why
the
I
time
thought
that
this
worked for the
meeting
most
wasn't on
people.
today. I thought this meeting
Yeah,
wasn't
I have
on
a
today because
screenshot
I
of it
couldn't find the
somewhere.
email.
Like,
No, it's just me. It's my email.
oh,
I couldn't
yeah.
find it. Maybe I deleted it accidentally or something. That's why I thought it wasn't on.
It was on the.
Thank
It was.
you for reminding me.
No worries. It was on the. It was on the subreddit. I think that I told you that this time worked.
No, it wasn't in the subreddit. Only Namrata's poll was in the subreddit, but not the final time. Was it the final time? Oh, I see. So this entire thing happened on the subreddit. It was an email.
Yeah.
Oh, I see. That's why I was looking in the wrong place. Yeah. Okay. All right. So maybe, if I'd looked there, I would have found. All right.
Anyways, yeah,
Is
glad
there
that this
any,
is happening. This is
if
gonna
there
be
are no
helpful.
questions for me, I'm happy to take off. You guys could just talk amongst yourself and as much as you want, and then take off, and then hopefully, get more people to attend these meetings, because these meetings are more fun with more people. And the more people are in these meetings, you can have more ideas generated, more things to talk about. And also think about it. These are, I was just telling my 2B students, it's also practice for you in your technical talk, trying to make technical talk without using code, right? Meaning that you're going to talk about code without using code. It's not a simple skill to master, really, right? Because right now it's just hello world things, right? But later on you're going to be talking about more complex data structures and more complex code. So you can't afford to talk about code at that point. You're going to be talking about logic, but you're going to be talking about code without using code. Meaning that at that point, you're talking to the fellow programmer you're talking to, it doesn't matter whether they're Python or Java or JavaScript or even a different paradigm altogether. It doesn't matter, because you're talking about things in a different way. And so getting to that place is, yeah. So that's why, this is, questioning also is only C++, no Java. Yeah, I mean, there's Java. Java is only up to the blue level, really yellow. I was thinking of doing the whole thing, but I decided, no point in doing Java equivalent of 1B, 1B and 1C, because it's all the same kinds of things, training that we're doing. And from B and C onwards, it's not the language anymore. It's really the data structure, and it's exactly the same, which language it is. So, and so you'll be able to talk more by doing these meetings and talking about complex concepts in ways that would make sense to another technical mind, right? Here, that is a cool thing. Okay, all the other people in your meeting here, they're going to be technical minds. So you're not actually having a difficult task, but it's still more difficult than most people imagine, right? So in other words, you're going to be communicating a highly technical idea to other technical minds without the use of code. So that itself is a challenge. Once you master that, the next level is, because even technical minds, you have different levels, right? There's people doing first quest and people doing ninth quest. And so you get to play around with levels and gradually shape your skill so that you're able to explain the same concept in many different levels. But once you get there, you can stretch yourself and say, well, now I'm going to take this really complex concept and try to explain it in Neil deGrasse Tyson, whoever these science guys are, right? You just take these really complex concepts and do these things and say, this is how you do it. Okay. And that's, it is an acquired skill, but it is possible. And you get that just by understanding this in so many different perspectives. That's all it is. You take anything you want and keep looking at it again and again. So you can look at it from any perspective. Some random person comes along and you say, I can explain to you in exactly your perspective because I've seen it like that once. That's all it is. Right. And so it's just, whether it is, thinking about it when you're sleeping or whatever it is, it's just looking at it again and again and again, repeated exposure. And you take advantage of this time to do that and get a full understanding of all of these things. And then when you get that, you'll be able to explain it to all of the other technical minds in these meetings. And therefore, you got to get all the other people. You encourage them, Reddit, all these things. Come to these meetings, right? Organize them and get them. And during these meetings, take turns. in queuing off and handing over the baton to other people. And these are all things that take practice and conscious effort, right? Initially it'll be conscious, right? After about a few maybe you've done this like 5 meetings or so. After that, it just comes automatically, like Oprah, right? You just say, oh, this is where I hand over to the other person, the guest, or something like that. Because talk shows and all, like me, I'm just talking all the time. But a professional, they'll actually know and say, well, you know what, if I talk for more than this number of seconds, they lose the optimal absorption rate, right? So I got to hand over to them. So they know all these cue points, and I'm not picking up on these because I'm not trained. But I know people who are actually trained on these things, and when they're talking to you, they can actually pick up, right? And not consciously, they're just picking up subliminally, because initially they were doing it consciously, because in their workshop or whatever it is that they learn these things at, they actually do this consciously, and someone is correcting them, or maybe a grown-up in the home. They're correcting them, saying, hey, you know what, you saw that facial expression means so and so on, right? So they're looking for these consciously things, right? And after a while, it just becomes subconscious, right? Because humans by nature, I think, are lazy creatures. We don't want to do everything consciously, because conscious takes lots of effort. I just want to make everything automatic. So you just go back to just being happy, not having to do anything at all, right? So I think that, do something that is especially boring many times, your brain will figure out a way of making that automatic. And that is a philosophy behind rote learning, I think. Okay, because not everything is good to rote learn. So some things you got to understand. But even after you understand it, okay, rote learning should not precede understanding, I think, in my opinion, right? Or at least in the Indian school of learning. Okay, rote learning is good, but it should not precede understanding, I think. So anyway, so you have to press yourself to learn things. But then after you get the understanding, you got to keep doing that. You got to keep doing that. What you understood, meaning you got the technical perfection. I can get everything notes. I can get all the tasks or logical steps sequenced properly. Okay, it works. Now, having got that, that is what and then you start the rote learning part. Okay, saying, okay, well, now I know how it works and I can put it together. Now I'm going to do the boring, laborious process of repeating it many times whenever I'm bored. Okay, I'm going to keep doing that, and I'm going to keep breaking this just for the heck of it. Okay, I'm going to break it. I'm going to make the vector longer. I'm going to make this. I'm going to break. Okay, break many times. Keep on breaking. That is your rote learning practice. Okay, you already know how to do it, right? Because as I told my 2A students the other day in class, it's just like a musical piece, right? It takes you a long time to get a piece. Okay, long time, really. And then a student thinks after they got the piece, after like 3 months of practice, they go into the teacher and say, oh, well, I've got this piece. I practiced so hard for it. And the teacher says, okay, that's the beginning, okay? Because you've got the piece and you've got it all sequenced and get all the notes at the right time, right? Metronome. That's when you start practicing, because now you got to play it again and again until it just gets past boring. So that just becomes part of you. And then when it becomes part of you, then you can feel the soul of it. Then you'll see it, anticipating, like I said, different sections. You just anticipate the next thing that's going to come, even before it's come. So you're actually coding and talking to someone about this code, but you're actually thinking about the next section that's coming up there. So all of those things will just open up for you naturally, without having being told, saying, all right, this is the time you do it. This is the time you do it. And I used to do that before, saying, well, I'd measured interval, saying, this is now this topic, you got to master this, or you're good at this, and then go on to the next one. Totally does nothing at all to the student, I found. Okay, same students I see. I've taught them in 2A. They come to my 2B. They come to my 2C. And at the end of 2C, I don't see any real improvement in the way they're approaching computer science. So at some point I said, I just retire right now, today. That was back in 2017, right? 2018. So, there's no point in me teaching anymore. I could just retire then. But then that's when I decided, no, I don't have to retire because I have tenure. So I'll try a new way of teaching. A new way in which, people just can't squeak by. They got to put themselves through the grind, and they'll have fun doing it. And so that's what I'm doing right now. Right? This question is also fun for me, right? So because, I had a lot of fun putting it together, but certainly you guys will actually now go through it. But at the same time, you'll be forced to learn every nook and cranny now. So after you perfect the way of solving the problem, you'll try to eke out the mini trophies, right? So that's why I put all the hidden trophies there. So by doing the mini trophies, you'll get your rote learning, effect, right? So you don't have to consciously do this now. Like, I got to do this program and break these things. Just do all of the quests, pop them. And then when you go back and do it, that is your rote learning component. You'll have to do it so many times. You got to break it, run it, break it, run it. Like Andrew has been on quest number 9 for a long time now and breaking these things, right? So I know, and it's, it's fun. It's tempting for me too to say, hey, Andrew, all right, if you can fix this and pass through, but I'm sure that he won't like it. Yeah, because, there's a certain pleasure in just getting through it. And once you get through it, the breakthrough is absolutely stunning. So yeah, that's what it is. Just that's why the mini quests have all these hidden quests, so that you can just go through and then come back. And then there's no way you can get all the trophies, right? And there's no way you can dog them until you've done each a sufficient number of times.
And how do you find the hidden quests? I mean, is it just by reading?
Yeah, you just have to look at
very
the spec and yeah, I know. Good question. Someone else also asked me this. The only way to find the total number, I don't even know the total number of trophies per quest, but the only way to make sure you get the maximum number is to just immerse yourself in the data structure itself or the problem, and try and just think about the problem for a long time, maybe on a walk, right? And think about the picture, and it'll just marinate, it'll just pop into your head, okay? It's not something that you have to do consciously. And you're also paying attention to the detail. When you keep doing something repeatedly, you'll actually discover detail that was missing before. So when you repeat the same quest repeatedly, you may notice a sentence in the spec that says, "Don't set null on this variable," that you totally missed it before. You say, "Well, I don't have to do that. I'll get to." Yeah, it actually works because many times you can ignore single sentences and the rest of it will just flow. And so, but then if something doesn't work, then you go back and reread these things, and then you discover detail that you had overlooked, but it still worked. And that is how people actually discover. In fact, I don't know the total number of trophies because I've gone in and put trophies there, here and there, when students like you point out certain things and say, well, that's worthy of a trophy. I put in a trophy there. So I actually do. I've lost count. I suppose I could go and run all the code at one point and find the trophies, but it's not worth it because students are actually producing a much better estimate on the Reddit. Yeah. All right. So there's a lot of people struggling in the earlier parts of the requests, 1, 2, 3, and 4. So even if you're ahead, I ask that all of you, right, anyone who's ahead and pass this message on, is to just take a breather and help the other people also, right? Some of them are posting questions, but certainly not the ones that, ask for answers, but, nudge them in the right direction. That'll be great, right? And you can also, link to those things in the final report. When you, at the end of CS2A, you produce a final report. And the report, you can actually say, I helped out Randy, or, or this was a time when, Alex was, doing things, and, he showed me that, there's a vector out of bounds thing. And all of these things, interactions, they count for your final report too. So make a note, because lots of people forget. If I don't remind you now, just make a note, Google Notebook or something like that, or even in a notebook. Just remember, because at the end of the quarter, many students say, I got to produce a final report, so let me go to Reddit and search, right? And so you say, type, Brandy Graywall, all the posts by Brandy, right? And you'll see like 100, lots of posts, because you have made lots of comments, yeah, over the 6 months. And then I can tell you, it is a right pain to sort through that. And because you're not going to dump all the comments. If you dump all of them, you'll get no points at all. You got to pick the right ones. And then if at that time, in the last week, if you're going to go through all your comments and pick out the valuable ones, like 12 or 15 of those, it's not worth your time. Okay. So lots of people will just take the top 5 comments or the biggest ones they've made and post it there, but they're not the best. So save yourself the hassle. And every time you make something nice, just take a bookmark and store it somewhere. And make a short note about it, because at the end of the quarter, you would have forgotten what it was about. Yeah. And then at the end, when you produce a final report, you don't have to even have to click on it to see what it's about, so you can summarize it. You would have the link and then a short note saying what you did, right? Oh, in this post, I helped, Aditya with this thing, or something like that. And that one sentence is enough for you to make a very nice paragraph in your final report. Yeah, does that make sense? These are just useful tips. They're not my tips, actually. Many of these are actually student tips, because I don't know. I just made the questioning system. In fact, most of the value that you're seeing today is not from me. This questioning system is just like a leak code thing. Yeah. It just does things and produces results for you. But the value you're seeing is from your classmates. Yes, because they read it. If they read it, well, technically speaking, you should not be using Reddit at all, except to converse with your current classmates. Yeah. But a lot of students don't listen to that. But actually, even after you solve a quest, it's actually fun, I think, to go back to the previous posts on the same flare after you solve the quest. It's fun. But that's where a lot of value is, because a lot of people just love the Reddit and the fact that you can collaborate and get instant solutions from your fellow collaborators and these meetings. So they're all just student created value. So it's absolutely fantastic. I mean, I could just as well be running this course with LeetCode. If you think about it, I could just use LeetCode because it's free, right? I don't even have to pay for it like I'm paying for questing. I just use LeetCode. The only hassle with LeetCode is that they have these all kinds of, problems all over the place. I got to go and pick out, that one. It's going to take me a long time to do that. So this is easier and faster to just do it myself. And so I can just pick out a certain number of problems. In fact, I'm using the same order that we've always used, with a couple of new ones. And I've created these problems. So yeah, I could do that using, just an auto grader of any kind. And the fact that we're doing it here is actually absolutely fantastic, because the value here is really just all student generated. So there's this living proof of that. Hey, Arthur, welcome to class. I'm just about to take off, by the way. Okay, Arthur, you should switch on your camera. Okay, who's the M, by the way? Mido? Mido? No,
Yeah.
Mido is not here. Oh, Mido, you're here?
No,
Is your full name Mido or is it a
Yeah.
short name?
It's Muhammad. I don't know why it's my nickname. I don't know why my nickname is showing, but that's my name.
Oh, Mohammed, you were in class the other day.
Yeah. Yeah, I was.
Oh, so yeah, why is your name showing up as Mido? It's hard to change these things, because for me it was showing us ampersand in department meetings, and I couldn't figure out how to change the ampersand to my full name. And and college meetings, nobody knew what ampersand was, right? At least in my department, people know, right? But if it's a college-wide Zoom meeting and I have that and it shows ampersand, nobody knows what the hell, who
There we
that
go.
person is. Could be a Zoom bomber. No, at least I know. Mido is Mohammed. Arthur, you got to switch on your camera, man. But I'm going to take off, okay? You guys can hang out and talk if you guys want. Unless you have any questions for me, I'll take off, okay? I'll come back, anytime you guys want a meeting, or, you just invite me and I'll come to the meeting, okay? Otherwise, you guys, I've set it up. You just get together. It'll be recorded. I'll look for the recording the following day and I'll post it on the channel. But you should just feel free to come. The meetings are all set up.
I
Most
do have a
important thing is,
question.
yeah. Go ahead, Brandy. Was it you?
Yeah. Yes. Do the quests follow a type of reading schedule in the book? Because this is all new to me.
No. Actually, what you can do is, do you know Michael Losef modules? We've actually linked to that from the syllabus.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So what I did was, well, CS2A, unfortunately, I did many of them are my own. But however, they are in line with the module numbers. So and if you go to Michael Losef's modules, week 1 and week 2 are what you're going to be using. The concepts from there are what you're going to be using for quest number 1 and quest 2, or something like that. Yeah.
Okay.
If not, you should ask, like, for example, vectors in quest number. Oh, no, this is 2A. Yeah. Yeah, I think this is a very good map. Okay. 2B, I used more of Michael's quests. 2C, I used a little bit more from the previous prof. I added more, but 2A is mostly my own. 2B, certainly there's more. Even if you do someone else's section, you'll get a chance to see that, their assignments and mine are pretty much the same. Like if you did someone else's 2B. Right now it's Lane Johnson, I think pretty much. Well, Lane is developing his own track of, not quests, his own track of assignments. So it may be different completely from Michael Losef assignments. Or even from my questing assignments. So he's doing it. So I don't know what that's going to look like. But many of the other adjuncts are just using Michael Losef materials. And so if you do that in 2B and 2C, you'll see quite a few overlaps. Not overlaps in the sense, obviously the quests are going to be a whole lot harder to solve. Because, in the actual original assignments, it'll be like implement a hash tree and these functions, right? And then, people will look over your code. They're not going to run it and test it. And look over your code and say, okay, you got all the elements there, 20 marks. Okay, it's not going to cut anything on the questing system, right? This is no one gets 0 trophies there. Okay, so on the questing system, when you learn about hash tables, you got to implement the nuts and bolts of the hash table. This is not until 2C. You don't have to worry about it now, right? Anything, even binary search in CS2A. So in many other sections, you have to understand binary search at a high level, hand wavy level, right? Cut in half and search here and so on and so forth. Yeah, that's not going to get you anything in CS2A, in my section, CS2A. You got to implement CS2A in binary search, because the devil is in the detail. You'll find out that it's not just enough to explain it like that. You got to know precisely exactly what the hell goes on when you get to the middle, right? Do I go this way one element or that way one element? Okay, because that level of detail, if you're not 100% solid on that, That is the difference between doom and success. But that level of detail is overlooked, even by programmers, who are maybe because they don't have enough practice. You got to implement it and fail it sufficient number of times to know the importance of that thing. If you don't get bitten by that firsthand of your own, you won't realize the importance of the corner case. And so initially it'll seem like a big chore. Okay, lots of students, beginners, even small new hires in companies, right? When I was a junior manager and all, I've seen this. Junior hires, fresh from college anyway, from campus interviews, they don't like what was I talking about? Oh, I don't know what I was talking about. Sorry. But it's, certainly you gotta yeah, 2A. Once you do all the quests, I think you'll feel a lot more comfortable, happy about these things. Gee, I thought I was on to a really nice thought there. I totally lost it now. I don't know what I was talking about. Brandy, you had a question, right? And then I was responding
You were
to
saying the juniors overlook certain details.
Oh yeah. Thank you. Yeah, even on the people that I've hired, so they get the thing done. Okay, they get the thing done, but then they get the thing done in a kind of loose kind of way. I don't know. When you get to be software managers, you'll see this on firsthand. Okay, you get someone to do it, they'll do it, but it'll be loose, meaning that there'll be lots of corner cases meaning that it'll work except when something unusual happens. But the problem in software is that the unusual is pretty common. Okay, because things are happening at trillions of times a second, right? So if it's unusual, we're thinking in human scale. Unusual, it's going to happen 1 in like 1 million times, right? But when you run in a program, 1 million, like 10 seconds, and it's going to break because the computer is doing things fast. And so that's not what I mean by new hires making things that break easily. It's just that they have to break it. They have to break it and get bidden and be told off by their managers sometimes. Okay, but usually no, you don't have to tell them off, because if you point it out to them, they'll know, right? Getting broken. Once something breaks, you're not going to go there another time, right? Because there's a thorn or something there. So you automatically tend to build a mental defense against that. So the next time that kind of error happens, before it even happens, right? I'm not going to go down there. I'm going to make sure that doesn't happen. You're going to stay away from that. So you'll encounter lots and lots of things. New hires, that's why they're cheap, okay? Because you can afford to do that. And you can afford to make them break things, because you're not going to let them get near critical things. So when they're solid on these things, you can say, okay, that guy is not just going to break things because they feel like it, right? So you can start getting them towards more sensitive projects where you have a reasonable level of confidence they're not going to break things. And but that thing only comes with experience and exposure. And lots of people don't give themselves the luxury of repeated exposure. They just say they need to move on because people around them, the society, says there's no value in staying still. You got to keep moving on from one thing to another. And progress is what other people seem to value. I don't know, right? Because I'm really practically out of ordinary society for a long time now. But I think that's probably what a lot of people value, is just moving on from one thing to another without really staying power. But staying power is what you will feel proud of, I think, in the end, not having done lots and lots of things. Because everybody out there, I see, they are capable of doing things. Even in computer science in the Bay Area, if I, talk to random people, even a coffee shop, any topic under the sun, I can pick up, and that person will say they know how to do it, right? Because they got some exposure. And the danger in the Bay Area is that you actually do get a chance to experience all of these things, because people jump around in jobs. They'll get a chance to be a data engineer here, machine learning, AI. They'll do all that in 5 years. But what can you learn, right? But you can, it'll make for good small talk or a bar conversation, right? If you can pick someone up with that kind of line, say, I know 5 different skills, right? But they can make intelligent talk too, not like super duper deep intelligent talk, but you want to get beyond that, because that is the run of the mill. Everybody can do that. So, and then you differentiate and say, you know what, let everybody do that, because that'll, keep them off my back. Now I'll just focus on these 2 things, because I know I can get to the bottom. Yeah, that is a kind of perseverance that will get you to any field, I think. Can I can take off, right? You guys were having a conversation when I butted in, essentially. Yeah, can I take off?
Yeah,
You have a question?
No, I was gonna say sounds good. I'll see you in class tomorrow.
Yeah, yeah. All right. Oh, you're gonna come? You're gonna come? Oh, you're gonna be online.
Online, yeah.
All right, all right. I'll see you guys tomorrow, okay? If you can make it. And I'm gonna, make sure that Zoom is high priority. See you later. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
I don't have anything to add, so I think I'm also gonna
Oh,
hop
I
off
gotta,
with
I
the
gotta assign
professor.
someone to Andrew. Can I assign you to Alexander? You're highlighted. Okay, you're gonna be host. Is that okay?
Oh, sounds good. Guess I'm the host now. Yeah, I don't particularly have anything else to add. So, yeah, does anyone have anything to share?
Oh, you know what, Brandy? There's another good website, learncpp.com. They have kind of
Yes.
a sequential tutorial. They have a lot of good subjects. I found it pretty recently, but if you haven't, you've seen that one already.
Yeah, I've
Yeah.
been looking everywhere. So that's how I found the W3 schools. Is amazing. It really breaks it down. So, but I appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, I don't have anything else myself unless other folks have other things.
No, I'm good.
Don't have
Sure.
anything in particular.
Should we head up for the night?
Yeah.
All right.
Sounds
Thanks,
good.
host.
All right, you guys.
Yeah.
Have a good night, everybody.
Good night.
You too. Take
Stay
care.
out to work. Bye.